Okay, Jay, we are now going to start the interview. Over the course of the interview, I'll ask you step by step to talk about your experience with stroke, so you have plenty of time so you don't need to rush. In the first part, I'll ask you about your diagnosis. After that, a few questions about treatment. And in the last part, you'll have the chance to talk about what you think should happen in the future to improve treatment, support and services. So do you have any questions before we start?
No. No.
Sure. So we'll start with when you first started to notice symptoms before you had a stroke. So it might be at the time you didn't take much notice of, but now you could see them as early signs or symptoms. Can you describe that for me?
I was having headaches.
Headaches?
Yeah, I was having headaches about a month or so beforehand.
Yep. Sure. And so, can you describe how you came to be diagnosed as having stroke? So if there was any specific tests that were ordered?
MRI was done.
Sorry?
When MRI was done.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. And did they do any other tests that you remember?
Any what? Other what?
Any other tests, like any MRI or CT scan?
No, they did
Sure.
X-ray. They did X-ray.
X-ray. Yes.
Yeah.
And did anyone ever talk to you about having a test to see if you have any genes or sometimes called biomarkers in relation to cardiovascular conditions?
No.
No. And when you were diagnosed with stroke, how much did you know about your condition?
Nothing.
And in relation to your condition now, are you able to tell me what your current outlook or prognosis is?
In what way? Physical or mentally?
Both.
Physically, it's not going to... Because I've lost my left side.
Yeah. Sure.
So that's not going to come back.
Okay. Sure. And we'll talk a little bit about the types of treatment you've experienced. But to start with, what conversations did you have about treatment when you were first diagnosed?
None.
None. And what are your own personal goals of treatment or care? So that might be to be able to function better or more independently or reduce the side effects of treatment?
No, I never got it. It wasn't explained anything of that.
Sure. Sure. And we've spoken a bit about diagnosis. Now we'll talk about regular management and treatment. So can you tell me about the types of doctors or specialists that you've come across over the years? And how long were you under their care for?
Can you repeat that? Didn't quite get that.
Sure. So can you tell me about the types of doctors or specialists that you've seen? And how long were you under their care for?
I've had a lot of physio.
Yeah.
And OT consultations.
Yeah.
During the time.
Yes. And did you see any other doctors?
No.
No. And so just to clarify, who is your main provider of treatment now, and how long have they been your main provider for?
What do you mean treatment? What sort of treatment?
Oh, like, are you taking any medication?
Yeah, I am.
Yes. So, do you go to see anyone about those medications?
No.
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 Yeah, that's okay. And what about allied health professionals like physio, occupational psychologists, or speech? Have you had access to these services?
Yeah, well, I don't need them now.
Okay, yeah. And did you receive any care through telehealth or remote access?
No.
And taking into account everything you've described, did you feel like you received enough ongoing rehab once you left hospital?
No, I didn't get anything. No.
No. And has anyone ever spoken to you about clinical trials?
No.
And when you make decisions about treatment, what are some of the things you take into consideration when you're making decisions about treatment?
I always look at what the outcome is expected of that treatment.
Yes. Sure. And do you think the way you make decisions has changed over time since you were diagnosed? Or do you approach the way you make decisions in the same way?
I do approach it in the same way.
And can you tell me what treatments you've had for your stroke, including any physiotherapy, speech, surgeries, or medications?
Does that include what I've had at the rehab hospital?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had speech, physio, OT. That's about it, really.
And do you take any
psychology?
Psychology. And do you take any medication?
Yes, I do.
Sure. Do you know which ones they are?
No.
No, that's okay. And how was your experience with the physiotherapy?
With the what therapy?
With the physiotherapy?
In my case, it was terrible.
Oh.
Because the therapist I'd have they'd keep changing therapists on me.
Okay. Yeah. And how was your experience with the speech therapist?
Speech, it was okay. I learned a lot.
Oh, that's good. And how about with the OT? How was your experience with the OT?
It was okay.
Okay. And the psychology?
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, good. And have you had any side effects from any of the medications that you've taken?
No.
No. So I'm now going to ask you to describe or define the terms mild side effects and severe side effects. So we'll start with mild side effects, and these might relate to side effects you could cope with. How would you describe mild side effects?
Well, I haven't had any side effects.
Yes. Or how about for side effects of the actual stroke?
Apart from the physical part, where I can't use my left arm or hand or leg. That only the downside of it. Yeah, I can't bend. I've lost